Have you experienced the awesome power of the Panasonic Real 3DO system? Obviously.
Presenting 3DO, the most advanced home gaming system in the universe. It's time to put away your toys.
3DO from Panasonic, Gold Star, and Creative Labs. A new low price and free games.
Mind-blowing graphics of Panasonic Real 3DO. 3DO.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 3DO Experience, the 3DO Retrospective Podcast, where we talk about all things 3DO, the 3DO Company, and everything in between. I am Bill, and this is Threk. How you doing, Threk?
Oh, Bill, I'm doing great. I'm all excited. How are you?
I am doing okay. I had a very eventful weekend. I went to a concert.
Yeah, I saw that. You went to the new metal show.
Yeah, I saw Disturbed, 3 Days Grace, and Seven Dust in the Garden in Boston, and it reminded me how much I hate going to Boston.
Boston Gardens.
It's funny. I'm not usually an angry driver. I usually don't get road rage, but when I get to Boston, it's just like that inner primal fucking rage just fucking comes out.
It's like an infection because everyone else is pissed off because they're in Boston, so it just kind of rubs off on you.
Well, it's like you ever see a map of like any city in the United States, and it's like a nice grid that makes sense, and then you look at a map of Boston, and it's just relatively makes sense. But then you look at Boston, and it's like, what the fuck?
Let me. I've never looked at Boston's streets. I mean, I imagine a lot of those streets are from the fucking revolution.
It's because they literally just kind of kept adding shit together. It is a fucking nightmare.
Are there a lot of cobblestone streets?
Not as many as you'd think. A lot of it is paved.
Okay. There are some brick streets, aren't there?
There are a few. The main thing about Boston is almost every side street is one way. It's like,
oh man. I mean, I see quite a few grids, but yeah, there are just some random bits here and there.
There's a really good meme of like Boston where it's like an overview of most cities in America, and it's like how the average city should look, and then a picture of Boston. It's like, because fuck you, that's why.
I mean, it's a very, very old city. Very
old.
It's been through a lot.
Yeah, there's a reason most people who go to Boston take the train.
Or just maybe walk around and it's like if I put a Red Sox hat on, I'll blend in.
Pretty much.
Yeah. If I put on a Yankees hat, I'm fucked. I'm doomed.
Even wearing a Red Sox hat won't help you, because we got to remember, New Englanders are the most fair weather fucking fans. It depends on how the team's doing at a given time.
Dumbasses.
Yeah. But that was fun. We were in the pit, which was kind of crazy. That's the first time I've ever been that fucking close to the stage.
Oh, did you mosh?
No, I stayed as far away from that. I'm like,
man, I was hoping to hear about you like punching some dude in the face.
I looked over to the side, and I saw the mosh pit going on. I just went, I'm too fucking old for that. I just walked away.
Did you ever mosh before?
Oh, I did it at a couple punk shows back in the day, and it usually resulted in me fucking feeling like shit for a couple days.
I mean, yeah, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, and I was like,
I never mosh. I did once push a friend of mine into the pit.
Yeah,
they still haven't forgiven me for that, but I was just, because they were trying to get me to do it, but I was just like, nah, why don't you do it? And then I just pushed them.
See, the greatest mosh pit thing I've ever seen was when I went to see Megadeth. There was a mosh pit going on right at the front, and I just remember this
government. Sorry, go ahead.
But this like girl walks into the middle of it, and she starts screaming at the stage, and some dude just runs over, just fucking pile drives her to the ground. And I just went, oh, and like even to the point where I think I looked at the stage and I saw like Dave Ellefson even made like a grimace, like he was like, ooh,
what the fuck?
Like that girl got wrecked.
Why did they pile drive her?
She got in the middle of the mosh pit.
Okay.
You just don't get in the mosh. I don't know. I just remember seeing.
I mean, to be fair, when you see it open up, usually the rules are, if you don't want to be there, you don't have to go in. No one's gonna make you go in, but
I just remember I'm like, because we were up on a balcony, and I remember looking down. I'm like, what is that girl doing? And I was like, oh,
I hope she's okay.
She got up
It
and
was just
walked. She got up and walked away. But I was like, "Ooh, that's gonna
and,
be hard."
and you never saw her again.
It wasn't a big girl either. Like she was a
Tiny.
pretty tiny little thing and
Yeah.
down. I was like,
Yeah,
"Ooh."
it's usually the tiny ones.
But yeah, that was the most. That was like I've seen that, and I'm like, yeah, mosh pit. I don't need to do that.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think the funniest mosh pit I ever saw was at a Papa Roach show where like Jacoby Shaddix was just trying to get like a mosh pit going the entire show, and it was just like a bunch of schoolgirls running in circles, and I'm just like, yep, there we go.
Hey, let them have their fun, right?
It was like there's a mosh pit.
If only a mosh pit would happen at like a Weird Al show or something, that'd be exciting.
I would love a mosh pit. I don't even know what it would be too. Polka, like one of the polka things.
Yeah, polka mosh. Why not? You know. But yeah, the shows I tend to go to are like old ass bands where like me going lowers the average age by like 30 years. So
yeah.
So I'm used to like, old people just going like, I saw these guys in 1974. They were great. And I'm listening to them, I'm like, yeah, they're fine now, but they're not the same. Like I'll never forget like seeing a bunch of old fucks like rush to the stage because I saw Jethro Tull a few years ago when they did Aqualung, and they all like rushed the stage. That was funny. But of course, like Ian Anderson, he's lost his voice. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, half that song he didn't even sing. It was just some random dude on the screen doing a lot of the singing for him. So,
See, it's interesting because like when I think of like old bands I've seen, like I think Rush is probably like one of the oldest. But like,
could you imagine a Rush mosh pit?
Yeah,
they'd be hitting each other with textbooks and shit. It'd be great.
Yeah. Well, the funny part about the Rush show, because I saw Rush's final show in Boston, and the thing about Rush is like one of those rare bands where like it's such a diverse like age like range of people. Like it went from like a little like 5-year-old in the front of the stage with the sign that said "My first Rush show" to like some of the old people just chilling because everyone likes Rush.
Oh yeah, the old guys who are like, this is like my 300th show this year, and I'm like,
that was the legit coolest thing about that show was like I'm pretty sure I saw a tour shirt from every Rush tour at that show.
Yeah, because I think it was R40, and if I remember correctly, they didn't say it was like their last tour, but I think a lot of people had that thought in the back of their head, and I regret not seeing that show because they came to Columbus, so they were close to me, but I didn't go. Because I was just like, they'll come back for the next time. Little did I know. So I missed them on that tour, but I did see them on the Clockwork Angels tour when they had the string section. Oh, that was a great show. Yeah, they played. Did they play "Losing It"? I think they did because I love "Losing It." Because when I saw that they were bringing the string section, I'm like, they need to fucking play that song, and they did. They did. I don't know if they played it on that particular show, but I did see live footage of them doing it.
I know
it was great.
I think for the Toronto show, they actually got Ben Mink on stage to do his part.
Yeah, that sounds right. Because Ben Mink's a good friend of Getty. He helped out with his solo record.
Yeah, he did all the guitars, I believe.
Yeah, he basically was Lifeson for that one, I guess. Yeah, because I think Ben Mink was in the band FM for a while. The other Canadian prog trio that has a much different history and legacy to it. I think Ben Mink was brought in to replace Nash the Slash, and it's hard to replace that guy.
Yeah,
But the first, if you guys want a music recommendation, look up the FM album Black Noise from 1977. It is a really fucking cool, underrated, proggy, spacey record. A lot of synths, a lot of violin, electric mandolin, some good shit. Too bad their drummer turned out to be a bit of a pedo. Anyways, we're not getting into that. But anyways, so news. Not really a lot of news. It's been so light the last few months, I would say. Oh, I'm gonna crack open my Pepsi, sponsored by Pepsi. I wish. For this week, there was really only two things I was like, I'll say some. Silent Hill F finally got its first trailer, or its first proper trailer. The F, I'm assuming it stands for Fatal Frame, because the game looks like a Fatal Frame game, because you play as a Japanese schoolgirl in the 60s who, like, shit's going down, like her face is falling off, and people are talking to her, and it's all this like very psychological horror stuff. It fits perfectly within the idea of Silent Hill, but and they emphasize the fog. But
I'm just happy Konami gives a shit about Silent Hill again.
What gives me hope for this game is that it's not being done by a Western team. It is being done by I think it's an Asian studio, not necessarily Japanese, but I think it's like an Asian studio. So hopefully that might ensure that it's more of a quality product.
Hopefully.
But I don't even think did they say 2025 on it?
I don't remember. If it is, it's late. It's got to be late 2025.
Yeah. I could see it coming out this year or maybe early next year, whatever, right?
I assume after Metal Gear Solid Delta, just to space it out a bit, but
yeah, that sounds about right. Oh yeah, speaking of weird announcements, for some reason, Warhammer Space Marine 3 got announced, and I was very confused and kind of upset because Space Marine 2 came out last year, I think, and is a fantastic game. Y'all should play it. So why the fuck are they announcing they're doing 3? Like, there's no shot that game is in any sort of production. It's in pre-production at best. Like, I thought we had learned our lesson. Like, stop announcing shit way too fucking early, because now they're going to have to deal with, probably for the next 5 to 6 years, people constantly asking them about Space Marine 3, and they're like, "Oh, we're working on it." And it's like, don't fucking announce it until you're ready to talk about it. I don't understand that. It seems really stupid to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll play it when it comes out, but I don't know, man. I don't understand it. And then probably the last bit of news I saw. This is for me, okay? I didn't think this would happen. Never in a million years. I was like, there's no need to do this. Like, why would they bother? But they're fucking doing it. Power Wash Simulator 2. It's real. It exists. I'm very happy because, as you all know, I love Power Wash Simulator 1. I have well over 150 hours in that game. I've done all the DLC. I did the recent Wallace and Gromit DLC, got all those achievements. Love it. It is a beautiful Zen game to soothe my soul. And I had said for a while, I'm like, I don't ever see them making a sequel. They don't really need to. They can just keep doing DLC updates until they're done. Because they will just, even occasionally, they'll just throw in like random jobs for like the holidays. Like, there's a good chance for Easter they might be like, oh, here's like an Easter bunny map. Like, go nuts, kiddo. But yeah, they're doing a straight up 2, and it's coming this year to PS5, Series, and PC. And Future Lab is publishing it this time because
nice.
Because fun fact or question: do you know who published Power Wash Simulator 1?
Not off the top of my head.
Square Enix.
Did they really?
Yes, that's why there's the Final Fantasy DLC and the Tomb Raider DLC.
Huh.
There's your little fun fact for the day, everybody. But Future Lab said they are publishing this themselves because I think Power Wash was a big hit for them. Sold a bunch of copies. It's done really well on Game Pass. So I guess they have the money to actually publish this for the themselves, which I think is great. It's going to add split screen co-op. Let's fucking go. Bunch of new maps. I guess it's going to develop the lore. There is lore. I won't get into it here. And they're going to do like quite a bit of quality of life improvements on the first game, which there's room for it. So this will be interesting to see. And I can't wait to put another 100 hours in a fucking Power Wash game.
I love these just stupid concept games that end up being fucking great.
The simulator genre. Is that what we're calling it? Because there used to be a genre of like simulation games.
I don't even know if simulator is like the right word. Just like these like weird like games that are just they just hit that serotonin in the brain the right way, where it's just like, it's a simple idea, but you're just like, why can't I stop? Like
yeah, I guess like job simulation, or like I've heard second job simulation.
Some people say
for like lawnmower, like fast food simulator, like all these games where it's like a mundane activity, but you turn it into like a video game, and then people fucking love it for that. You know
Well,
what
I
I
think
mean?
it's similar to like the one that I've played a lot is like Teardown, where it's just the idea of just breaking shit for no reason.
Yeah, yeah.
Or one that I played recently is it's like the dumbest indie game, but it's called a game about digging a hole.
Yeah, I think I heard about that game.
You just dig a hole.
Yeah.
That's all you do. But the twist is it's like an electric shovel, but if your battery runs out, your shovel explodes and you die.
Oh, that sucks.
So you have to like run up and recharge. But it's one of those like games that you're just like, why is this so addicting?
Sometimes you need those kind of games to just kind of turn your brain off and just kind of do. You know, you can just like some like Power Wash, I can just do it and doesn't take a lot of brain power, and I feel fulfilled afterwards.
Well, it's like why Minecraft is so addicting. It's just like it hits the right like spots in the brain.
And with Minecraft, you can do as much or as little with it as you want, which I think helps the appeal of that game as well. But yeah, I think that's really it for the news. There was the NSO music drops.
Yeah, we
got a handful. Name them off, Bill.
So the four that I know are definitely new. We got Dr. Mario and Tetris, but not just the NES versions. We also got the Game Boy versions, which Game Boy Tetris right away. Yes. Hell, even
so they
Mario.
did they have to license this from the Tetris company?
I'm actually, I don't know actually, because I think didn't Nintendo make that version?
They own the publishing to it, and they probably did develop it. So yeah, maybe they do own it.
Because I know
I don't know how it works because
Famicom Tetris is different because that was the one that was made by Bulletproof.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because the Tetris company is basically Bulletproof. They own all of those games. Because with that Tetris Forever collection, one of the biggest issues people had with it was like NES Tetris, Game Boy Tetris, even like the Sega Tetris is not there. And that's probably because they don't have the rights to them. And my guess is Nintendo would not give them the rights to NES Tetris if it was going to be on every platform.
Yeah.
Which sounds like Nintendo. Like, how dare you put NES Tetris on the PlayStation? It's like, who fucking cares anymore, dude? It's Tetris.
I couldn't get over the people that were complaining that Tengen Tetris wasn't on them. Like, that's never going to be on any fucking collection.
I like Tengen Tetris. I think it's better than NES Tetris in a lot of ways.
It is. I'm just saying, it'll never be on a collection because it's technically an unofficial game.
Yeah, but I figure at this point, who cares? Unless Bulletproof just straight up bought it and made it official, because they're the Tetris company now. So then it makes it official.
I wish, because I paid. That's like one of my most valuable NES games because I actually found a copy of Tengen Tetris and I was like, I need it.
Yeah, it's pretty rare. I've noticed
because it was a recalled game. There was only so many of them out there.
It was because of the whole lawsuit with Tengen and Nintendo's. Yeah. So yeah, there were those, and then
Brain Age is new, right?
I don't think Brain Age is new. I think it's been there.
Are you sure? I swear that wasn't.
Is DKC 3 new?
That appeared over the weekend.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, the one that people don't care about the soundtrack for.
Which is a damn shame because it's got a good soundtrack.
It's not a bad soundtrack, but I think its issue is it doesn't have like that one track. Like DKC 1 has Aquatic Ambiance. DKC 2 has Sticker Brush Symphony or Forest Interlude, depending on who you ask. DKC 3 doesn't have like that tune. You know what I mean? The one that sticks out.
It's because that was the one that David Wise kind of took a back seat on this one, and Evelyn Fisher did most of this.
Yeah, it's not a bad soundtrack at all. I've played through and beaten DKC 3, but like its soundtrack doesn't stick out the same.
I'm kind of bummed.
You know what I mean?
Give us the GBA versions of the DKC soundtracks because they are different. Well, 3 is completely different.
Yeah, because I think David Wise stepped in on that one.
Apparently, it has to do with...
It has a new aquatic ambiance in it. Like, he has, like, a weird remixed, rejiggered version of it on there, but I don't like it as much as the original.
I believe the reason why 3 has an entirely different OST on the GBA is because the GBA... There's a lot of frequencies in the Super Nintendo version that, like, the GBA just couldn't do.
Yeah.
So they ended up just, like, redoing the soundtrack from, like, scratch, which... Some people prefer, except for certain levels where like they didn't like match. They didn't even look at what was going on in the level.
Yeah.
My favorite is the freaking. There's one level where it's like there's a saw cutting up a tree, like where you have to like dodge the saw. And in the Super Nintendo version, it's this really dark, like intimidating song. And then in the GBA version, it sounds like you're chilling on the beach. And it's like,
It does, yeah. It's weird. But yeah, look at the. Was the original Metroid always there? Because we had the Famicom Disk System Metroid, but now I'm seeing like NES Metroid. I'm like, that wasn't there originally, was it?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Because I know Mario 1, Mario 2, and Mario 3 were added. His DKC 3. We tackled Wave Race, right? Pretty sure we did.
Yeah, Wave Race was new.
Did we tackle Golden Sun? Was Golden Sun always there?
I remember we mentioned it. Yeah, because I think we talked about Golden Sun after that.
Okay, because then I think we talked about Brain Age. Unless Brain Age was like a secret new one too that I don't know about.
I don't remember because I remember talking about Nintendogs. I don't remember talking about Brain Age.
Yeah. Well, hell, it seems to me they've dropped like a handful of new ones over the last couple days.
Just shadow dropping them, thank God.
Yeah, they might actually be picking up the pace.
Thank God. That's all I can say.
It would be really nice if they start doing that properly, but you know, we'll see what happens. It's looking at it now as I'm seeing it, I'm like, it's getting there. It's still not there. It is still a far away from being what it needs to be, but it is slowly getting better. Like, it's still criminal that there's like Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 aren't there. Either of the Mario lands. Mario
RPG, any Mario RPGs for that matter.
Super Metroid, Star Fox, dude, SNES Star Fox, love that soundtrack.
Star Fox Assault. Like, I know the game isn't for everybody, but that soundtrack is.
Yeah, like no Majora's Mask, no Smash Brothers, any of the Smash Brothers games. I know some of them have other licensed music. No, it's not.
Are you sure? I swear Ultimate was on there.
Nope. I'm looking at it. Well, I know Smash Ultimate has a lot of like other game licensed music in it, so. But they could probably get away. They could get away with it with. They could probably get away with it with like Smash 64 and Melee because it doesn't have any third party music in it.
I just want the Brawl soundtrack, but I doubt that one's going to be an undertaking.
Yeah, because it's like how I'm not sure how they're handling the like paying the people. You know, like how much money is Koji Kondo getting from all this? Because you know a lot of his soundtracks are on here, so
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe they're paying him so well, he's like, I don't fucking care.
He just has a lifetime like contract with Nintendo.
Oh yeah, he's never going anywhere. And why should he? Like, he's still, I think, is actively doing stuff. Like, he hasn't like went into the background. Like, I think he did some music for Wonder.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, like he's not making the soundtrack for everything as much as he used to, but yeah, he worked on Wonder. Trying to see the last game it says he did all the music for was Ocarina of Time. That was his last one, where it's like only him credited for music, and then after that is like he gets a bunch of collaborators or does some other like he'll do a song for like Spirit Tracks or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah. Love me some Koji Kondo.
But yeah, that's about it for news. Kind of a shorter news segment, not much to say.
And that was me trying to stretch it out.
Yeah. Is it because we don't want to talk about the game we're covering, or is it just to pad it?
A little column A, little column B.
We might as well get to it. So,
you hear that?
Is that a car?
That was a motorcycle. Whenever it gets slightly warm around here, there's always like a handful of guys on motorbikes who just like, they're always the loudest fucking things in the world, and they just drive them around.
Yeah.
Piss me off. Especially like right now it's like 8 o'clock, so it's not a big deal. But if it was like midnight, I'd be like, bro, people are trying to sleep. Calm down.
See, I'm so used to it when I record Geek Addicts because Matt lives like right next to a busy street. So it's like every few minutes you'll just hear, I'm like, okay.
Sometimes you get that here, but yeah.
But
anyways, we're talking about Cyberdillo. I was excited for this one, man.
I was too, and then yeah.
I don't know how, but I got confused. I, for some reason, thought this was going to be a 2D platformer, but it's
Yeah,
not.
for
It's
some-
not. It's not at all.
You know, a good way to describe this game, like, you know, like the Windows like maze.
Yeah,
Screensaver?
I was gonna say that.
I
It's like if the Windows maze gave you a gun.
I always made the joke saying like I wish that was a game. I'd love to play in the Windows maze.
Did you ever play the game LSD?
Oh, Dream Emulator.
Yeah.
I've messed around with an emulated version of it, and
See, this game is like if you could shoot people in that game.
see, you remember when we covered PO'd, and I had joked saying that PO'd was like a Doom parody. I
Yeah.
want to apologize to PO'd because I think this is the Doom parody.
I feel like this doesn't know what it is. You know what I mean? Like I don't
This-
think it knows what it wants to be.
This game is like making fun of first person shooters, I swear, at times.
And it's also, I think, making fun of itself but its biggest issue is that if it's trying to be a parody thing, I think it fails because it doesn't know what the fuck it's trying to parody, and it's not really good on its own.
No, it's like the problem with Cyberdillo is it is like nonsensical for the sake of being nonsensical to the point where
Yes.
it gets in the way. So
Yes.
the opening cutscene for this game is fucking bizarre. Like it's this weird CG pre-rendered thing with like an armadillo chilling on a log, and then it gets run over by a random taxi in the middle of a fucking desert.
Because why not?
Like crazy taxi out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Crazy
basically.
Taxi.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And then he becomes a vigilante Cyberdillo armed with a toilet plunger gun, and he runs through levels collecting random items.
See, I don't know why you'd bother going out of your way to make the character an armadillo when it's a first-person game, and there's nothing about the character that really distinguishes the fact it's an armadillo.
Other than it eats crickets.
Yeah, but like, who the fuck cares?
So we could have those hilarious disco loading screens.
Yeah, the whole game, or at least like the first part of the game, yeah, it's doing that thing in the 90s where they were, bringing back the 70s and making fun of it, but it was just strictly the disco stuff. Because not to get too deep into music culture, but like by the 80s, like disco had become very out of fashion, right? There was the whole like, the disco, like if you guys have never seen the video where a bunch of like angry white people took a bunch of disco records to a baseball game and burned it in a bonfire, please educate yourself and go watch it because it is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. And we could go on and on about the decline of disco and the whole thing, but like in the 90s, right? Like the 80s, pretty much disco passed by or like kind of evolved into new kinds of dance music. So by the time we get to the 90s, it feels like people are now ready to start to kind of bring it back, a little cautiously. And a lot of times it was in, parody form, like say when Wayne's World did like the YMCA parody thing in the movie.
Yep.
It would like, I think starting to parody it was the beginning of the genre being accepted again. Because now it's like if you're like a modern like pop or electronic artist, you probably have like old school disco influence, and people are going to praise you for it now. It's a lot different. So this game is trying to do the disco parody stuff, and it's like, why?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they don't really do anything with it. Like,
yeah,
other than, like,
and that's my issue with a lot of like parody and satire stuff is that there's no reason behind it. It's just there because they think it's like a gag that'll get like a laugh. Like when they did like, if you remember like Epic Movie and Superhero Movie, like those fucking dog shit movies where they're just throwing references at you. And it's like, isn't this funny? Because it's like Paris Hilton being squashed by the Hulk. It's like, I don't care, man. What does this have to do with anything? And Cyberdillo feels a lot of like nothing.
Yeah, because like the first level you go in and it's like the I will admit the song is weirdly catchy. It's like it's a very disco on a loop song, and it plays for every level of the first area you're in. Which I was very confused because you walk in and it's like this open area with like weird spikes going up and down, and you shoot these eggs, and then there's like pictures of like Jerry Seinfeld on the wall.
Yeah.
I think it looked like Jerry Seinfeld, anyways.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, famed a disco dancer, Jerry Seinfeld. What's the deal with disco?
but like every stage is like you have to find like an item, and like the character talks throughout the stages, but it's like barely intelligible. Like it's bizarre. And then
Yeah.
you like find a wig, and it's like pretty wig acquired, and I'm just like, okay.
Like at least PO'd, you know, when it was being weird and nonsensical, all that, it felt like it was trying to like, it had a vision.
PO'd
Right.
was at least trying to be something more than the average first-person shooter.
Yeah.
It didn't
Yeah.
do it well, but at least it tried. This is just nonsense.
It was trying to capitalize on the Doom clone fad. So I think by 96, I don't know if the term first person shooter existed yet, because I think 96 is when Quake came out. And my guess is when Quake became a thing, and then shortly after that, Half-Life is when the term first person shooter started becoming a proper genre name, because for a while they were just Doom clones, you know, because they all played and looked like Doom. And this is trying to, you know, cape off of that, but it feels like it's weird. It feels late to the game, that if this came out in like 94, you know, it probably would have hit more of the zeitgeist at the time with the jokes it's trying to do. And yeah, if it's trying to be a weird parody of Doom, like I don't know. Maybe it's not a parody. Maybe it's just they just thought the shit would be funny.
I think
And
they
it's
were
not.
It was the idea. There's definitely like you can tell it's trying to be funny because like the enemies in the game are like hairspray and bipedal hot dogs running around. This game has two power-ups. When I say power-up, they don't help you in the slightest.
No, they do not.
There's the bone flute, which temporarily causes the screen to go black. Which
Gee,
is probably,
I wonder why.
yeah, it's a myth about a certain thing that people do in their.
You'll go blind, kid. I mean, you'll see how hairy my knuckles are.
Yeah. And then
I have glasses, so I don't know. Maybe there's truth.
Well, the other is the laxative, which doesn't do anything other than put a timer on when you die. Because if you don't make it to a toilet, you die.
I mean, you could shit wherever you want, man. How would that kill you if you just shat on the floor? Doesn't make any sense.
Well,
doesn't make any sense. It's not like you're holding it in and then like what, your abdomen just explodes because your intestines are full of shit. Like the first thing your body would do is just take a shit on the floor.
It's like the guy on Reddit said, like, if you don't poop, you explode.
I don't know. It's one of those things that like maybe if you like intentionally like blocked your asshole and just to see what would happen. I don't know.
No, I think eventually you'd go, or you'd be constipated as fuck and you have other problems. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe there would be some excretion.
All I know is when I was playing this and I found the
secretion
toilet,
is the word I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Secretion.
I just laughed because like I was going through the first level and I found the toilet. I was like, what the fuck's the toilet for? So I started shooting the plunger and thinking maybe you're supposed to do this, and it did nothing. I was
maybe
like,
he's a janitor, and that's why he's shooting plungers at everything. I mean, oh no, PO'd you were a chef and you were throwing your meat cleaver at everybody. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, this I just remember like I was thinking, oh, do you shoot the plunger at the toilet? Maybe that does something. Like it doesn't do anything. And then I found the laxative and I was like, oh, that's what the toilet's for. Yeah, where was it?
I gotta go.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, this game kind of sucks.
It's the weird part is that it controls better than some of the other FPSs on here, but that's not really
but you have to
anything.
adjust the controls, because one thing that the game does, if you go in the options, you can adjust like, you know, the walk speed and the screen size. I don't know why you'd bother adjusting the screen size, because I think if you max it out, it just gets rid of your UI, so you're even more confused. But you can adjust the walk speed, which is really nice. But if you have it like to the max, then you just walk way too fucking fast. Like
Yeah.
you're just flying around everywhere. I do like the little bar it has for those, and even like the difficulty level where it's like car, armadillo, like an easy, normal. It's like the car's like right next to the armadillo. If you hit hard or if you go to hard, it just
Yeah.
knocks them out. That was cute. I liked that. That was
This
probably the
game
best part of the
has-
game.
It has some zingers in there. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I thought the little parody of the Cotton Eye Joe at the beginning was pretty good.
I mean, I fucking hate Cotton Eye Joe, so a parody of it doesn't make me any happier.
See,
Sorry.
when I heard it, when I heard it, I was like, "Is that the fucking Cotton Eye Joe?" I'm like, "It is." Okay, what an interesting parody.
Yeah, I wonder if anyone ever bought Rednecks. Because, fun fact, the band that made it, they got put up for sale quite a few years ago, where you could buy like the entire catalog and everything or whatever. I wonder if anybody ever bought them.
I don't know. That's interesting.
Yeah. Another
Um,
fun fact for the fucking day. I hope you all are happy.
You know what's interesting too? The first level is nothing but disco, and then you get to the second level and it's fucking skate punk, like pop punk.
I mean, that's an improvement for you, I bet.
I mean, it was a decent track, but the level was just as. It was the same shit. Just like look for different things and then move on.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The gameplay, there really isn't much gameplay. It's just you roam around these like really badly designed mazes.
You shoot with a plunger, and then
You shoot with a plunger. You occasionally get a more powerful weapon. And yeah, you hit these like weird enemies. It's very generous with the health. So
yeah, health is so plentiful. You never are in a danger of dying. So you're basically
never
just
in a danger of dying. Yeah, you just kind of roam around. It's almost like the Windows maze, but you can actually like move around. And occasionally you have to stick a plunger down like the throat of a fucking spray can. But you know, you manage. You know, that's life.
Or a walking hot dog.
It's a metaphor for life. Sometimes you have to plunger something.
Yeah. The sad part is, like, this might sound like utter nonsense, but that's because that's what this game is.
It is. It is utter nonsense. It was developed by Pixel Technologies Inc., who do not have a Wikipedia page.
No, they don't. And when I went to their Moby Games page, because I was trying to find their logo, it wasn't there. So that was a great sign.
I mean, you get their address.
Yes, and their discography or gamography, which this was their final game. They made Spider-Man interactive CD-ROM comic book.
Oh, thank fucking Christ.
They also made X-Men.
God, I wish they'd do an X-Men
CD-ROM.
one. Fuck, they did do an X-Men one.
And then they also made a game called Cowboy Casino, and there's no pictures of it, so that's great.
Well,
it's on 3DO. We're
I was
happy
about to
cover
say it's a 3DO game, so we will be talking about them in the future. Though I imagine we're not going to have much to say about that one either, because it's just Cowboy Casino. I think it has FMV in it, which will be nice. But I'm going to say it now. I imagine Cowboy Casino is like a weird FMV version of the casino games you can play in like the Red Dead games. It's going to be that. Maybe a little bit of Mad Dog McCree influence in the FMV. I can only hope, right? So that might make it better.
Yeah. Oh, there is promos.
Oh, there's promos?
And these promos don't show any idea of what this game is. That's great.
Oh, so the address on Moby Games for where they used to exist is now a gas station called Racetrack in Georgia. Thanks, Google Maps.
Oh boy.
I needed to see because I was like, yeah, let me see what this fucking place is. Apparently, it's something called Racetrack, which it just looks like a gas station to me.
So this was really fun too. So development literally is on Wikipedia. Development, it literally says it was made by Pixel Technologies, published by Panasonic.
Yeah, Panasonic published this. Why?
Because Panasonic published a lot of games early on in the 3DO's life because they were trying to. Actually, this one was late, so I don't even know.
Oh, that's how they were trying to get their money back.
Yeah, they did publish a lot. Gold Star tried to publish some too.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But my favorite was the reception section. Because these reviews are fucking hilarious. So the game got very mixed reviews. Like GamePro gave it a 3 out of 5. Next Generation gave it 2 out of 5 stars. Computer Games Magazine gave it 1.5 out of 5 stars.
This does have a DOS version.
True. So GamePro called the gameplay redundant, lacking Doom's suspense. It sure did.
I love that.
Calling
That's
it
funny.
tongue-in-cheek, adding charm to the game, they added the player's tolerance. Wait, okay.
Try that again.
They while calling it tongue-in-cheek and adding to the game, they added that the player's tolerance would depend on their liking of disco. And they also described the voice acting as unintelligible.
It's unintelligible. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Hardcore Gaming 101 criticized the controls for being too slippery and its levels for being designed confusingly.
Yeah, that's fair.
Computer Games Magazine said the soundtrack was the only thing worth anything in the game.
Sure. I don't even remember it, but I'll take your word for it.
Next Generation reviewed the 3DO version in particular.
Ooh.
And they said it controls surprisingly well, but the graphics were far from cutting edge.
Yeah.
And they said the game in the end is either a cute novelty of a run-in-the-mill Doom game. Wait, what? I read this weird.
You can try it again. It's okay.
The developers deserve credit for trying to make something that's different, or they just created a run-in-the-mill Doom-style game, neither of which makes for much long-term entertainment.
Well, that sounds right with me.
Basically, no one really liked this game, which is a damn shame because we thought this looked awesome when we first saw it.
When I was playing the game, the only thing I could think in my head was this game is butt ugly.
Yeah,
it's so garish with all the colors, and it's trying to it's like vomit. It's just like a weird 90s vomit. With all these colors and trying to it's trying to be so much more than it is because the gameplay is nothing. So it's trying to make up for it with all this crazy aesthetic, and it just, if anything, it makes it worse.
Yeah, it's overstimulating for on the eyes at times too. Because the whole time I was playing it, I was like, eh. No, thank you.
Yeah.
So, to that guy that requested we play this on Twitter, I'm sorry.
Fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I apologize.
No, I'm sorry.
So, must play, okay, stay away. My reaction to this game is just, with a question mark, because
you don't have to play this game. You don't have to play this game.
I literally
that's the easiest thing I can say. Just if you want to skip this one, go for it, man. You're honestly not missing all that much.
No, and especially for the price it goes for these days.
I can't imagine why. The only thing I could imagine is maybe it's just there's not a lot of them out there. That's why it's as pricey as it is.
It was a late release game, so it would probably make sense.
That's the only thing I could guess, and sure, but this is awful. This is awful.
All I know is while I was playing this, all that was going through my head was I have many questions.
And none of them good.
Yeah, and none of my answers were ever going to be answered because I continued to just be like, what is this game? That was my thought.
Yeah, that's fair. That is absolutely fair.
Oh, so yeah, that one. This one was very disappointing.
Yeah, man, what a rough one. For some reason, I thought this would be like a 2D platformer or something. I don't know. Maybe a Cyberdillo 2D platform would have been better.
Yeah, because I swear there was. We must be thinking of some other game that was a 2D platformer.
Let's see.
Because there is another 3DO.
I mean, there's Johnny Bazooka Tone.
That's the one I must have been thinking of.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the same game though. I don't know what happened there. Somehow we got confused.
Yeah,
it happens.
But yeah. So that one was disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel bad.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah. But on the plus side, what do we want to play next?
I mean, do you want to do Johnny Bazooka Tone?
Yeah, we can, honestly. Because we haven't done a damn platformer since Gex.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. How much does this game go for? Just curious.
Probably a lot.
Yeah, most likely.
Let's see. No, not that version. Oh yeah, not the Saturn version.
Oh, there is a Saturn version. I might actually, if that's cheaper. So the jewel case is 55, but long box, yeah, forget it.
Yeah, my guess is even on Saturn it's pricey. Even on PlayStation it's pricey.
Yeah,
it's pricey on everything.
And I scroll down, and then the first thing I see is Who Shot Johnny Rock.
We gotta play
probably
that. We gotta play that at some point.
We do get a plan to do another American Laser game at some point.
Oh yeah,
can't wait. Yeah, we'll do Johnny Bazooka Tone next.
Let's do it. I need a platformer in my life.
We need something different. We've played way too many first-person shooters.
Yeah. And I've seen footage of Johnny Bazooka Tone. I'm like, it doesn't look that bad. So we'll see if I'm right or wrong.
All right, so we'll plan on that. But anyways, guys, once again, thank you for joining us on the 3DO Experience. The 3DO Experience can be found on all the major podcasting platforms, particularly Apple Podcast and Spotify. And be sure to check us out over on the Superpod Network. That is superpodnetwork.com. Awesome site featuring a whole bunch of different podcasters, including ourselves, featuring a whole bunch of different videos, blogs. We're currently doing a set of blogs about our favorite PS1 games. I actually just had, at the time this is released, I just had my blog on Tiny Tank released. So be sure to check that out. And I believe Thrak has a blog on Medal of Honor coming up pretty soon as well.
That is correct. And real quick, a new series, a new way to experience the blogs is in the works, and it'll hopefully be out soon. Our friend Danny, at Danny L on Twitch and everything, she has been wanting to do audio versions of the blogs. So she is. I've helped her finish the first one, which is when I did my Echo blog back in September of last year. So she did the reading on that. I did a little bit of editing for it, and hopefully that'll be out relatively soon. So stay tuned for that as well. So yes,
Yeah,
and I believe my Pixel project with Rick on Medieval is out now. So
nice.
Go listen to that if you haven't.
Yeah, and right before we sign off, I do want to announce the end of this month, the first episode of 3D Owned will be coming out. Our big, massive Persona 4 Golden episode.
I did what I could to trim it down.
Yeah, if you want to see the unedited, if you want to see it unedited, just watch the YouTube version.
Yeah. For how the 3D Ownts are going to work is most likely I will be doing the editing of the audio version, so expect a slightly different taste on those, because I tend to edit things a little differently than Bill. I actually edit, but the video version it'll just be the raw version, because we don't have time to edit video. Fuck that.
Yeah, and it's more fun that way.
If you want me to edit video, you gotta start paying me. Otherwise, I'm not gonna do it.
No, that's fair.
I mean, I could figure it out, but
yeah. But I think our plan for 3D Owned is going to be once a month. We're going to end the month off covering a game or series, maybe at some point.
Yeah, we have some ideas floating around, but it will not overtake the 3DO at all. So the feed won't get interrupted with a random 3D Owned in there.
It'll be a once a month treat, as they say.
Yes. So, and if you like the stupid long RPG ones, eventually we'll probably do a Tales game. So stay tuned.
Yeah. But yeah, once again, guys, thank you for joining us, and we will see you all later.
Bye-bye.
If you're not playing on a 3DO system, what are you playing with?